This week, we're stocking up the pantry with an Azure standard haul and a big harvest from the garden. I thought I'd take a little breather from our busy preserving season and focus on catching up outside, but the garden had other plans. We ended up with so much food that we found ourselves right back in the kitchen preserving the harvest despite our best intentions. Thankfully, Cam and I managed to get time outside to cross a fall project off our to-do list. Usually we do 2 big Azure standard hauls a year, one in November and one in like April, May timeframe. I decided to do this one a little bit earlier this year because when I wait all the way until November, sometimes I miss Thanksgiving and getting all the stuff for like holidays and stuff, and I decided it would just be good to have all of this stuff early and here for the holidays so I can prep in advance. So the first 2 things, I didn't really group these, but the first one is butter. If you've seen any of our other Azure standard hauls, some of these things will be familiar and that we get every time. Other things, as I run out, I get them as I run out. So some of these things are new and I've never shared before. But the butter is something we always get. This is cultured butter. This one is one that I get every November usually, but September this year. This is cranberries in here, frozen cranberries. And I make a whole bunch of cranberry juice, cranberry sauce, cranberry applesauce too. Big 40-pound box, and these are the organic ones. The next thing here is I got some floss. I have been hearing that regular floss, it has PFAS in it, the stuff that's like the forever chemicals. And so I just looked and looked for something more natural, and this is the best I could find. This is tea tree oil dental floss. So it's kind of a random thing, but that's why I got it. Other things that we were low on is cornstarch. I love that they have organic cornstarch. And we got some shredded coconut. I use that in granola. And the pumpkin seeds and the flax seeds, these are also gonna be for making pumpkin flax granola. And then I have some maple sugar. I use this exclusively in our homemade oatmeal packets. I use this in that. It just tastes really good. It's very expensive, but I think it's worth it for that stuff. I have 3 5-pound bags of these dry roasted peanuts. They're not salted. We make peanut butter out of those. In the past, I've bought peanut butter. This is way cheaper to just buy the peanuts like this and make it yourself. Sometimes it's not worth it to, do all the extra work, but in this case, you actually save a lot of money just by grinding them up yourself. We got some more honey because we're not gonna be harvesting honey from our bees this year. This is their first year, so we decided that it won't be ready this year, I guess. I don't really know a lot about bees, but I don't think it's gonna be ready. So we bought some honey. And then I bought some more of this gelatin. Some of you guys may have seen this in our peach video. I was making some peach gelatin. We were kind of low on it, so I got some more. And I plan on trying it out with the peaches that we canned, using the juice from that and making peach gelatin. So I needed to make sure I had some for that to test. And then these are another staple for us. This Lakewood brand this is lime juice and lemon juice. These are the only lime juice and lemon juice I've found that actually say on the bottles that they're 5% acidity, which is what you need for the majority of canning recipes. So that's why I'm very specific about that brand. Then we have cane sugar. Since we're getting close to holidays, we need some extra sugar because we make treats and stuff like that. This one is organic wheat flour, and a member of our community, her name's Jenna from Utah. She told me about this and said, you need to try this, it's really good. And I bought some probably 5 months ago or 6 months ago when we did our last Azure stock up, and it is really good and it works really, really well for bread. So thank you, Jenna, for sharing that. And hopefully everybody else can benefit from this too. I was buying the whole wheat bread flour before to put in my bread, and it was pretty heavy, dense stuff. This stuff is just really nice for bread. Okay, I got a big bag of rolled oats. This is a 50-pound bag, and this will last us probably a year. But we use this for our oatmeal, the little packs that we make, and granola, and then, you know, sometimes in like cookies or sometimes in meatballs too, actually. This is new for us. This is A2A2 organic heavy whipping cream. And when I got this, they were very specific about it expires really quickly, or it has a very fast best by date that comes quickly. So you need to be able to use it up quick. I'm planning on freezing this for later, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. The reviews were mixed on whether or not it freezes well or it doesn't freeze well. So I'll be trying that out, and I'll let you guys know if it actually does freeze well. I buy pretty much all of our dairy from Azure Standard because we don't have a milk cow, even though we probably could milk a few of our cows, but I just don't have the time for it right now. We buy the probiotic whole milk yogurt, this ricotta cheese, sour cream, and cream cheese. Need to make sure we have that for the holidays, and I'm thinking of making some more jalapeno poppers for holidays. They'll be good for like parties and stuff to have a bunch of those just made and frozen, and we can just cook them up and bring them to any party that we go to. Okay, that's it for our Azure Standard haul. In the past, we have stored all of our dairy in our cold room, but you'll notice here we have a new refrigerator, and this is in our mud room. And we got the refrigerator because we have an air conditioner in the cold room that is modified to refrigerator temperature via a little thing called a cool bot. Anyways, the AC was going out, so we were just going to replace it with another AC, but we have to update the electrical. Anyways, very long story, but we needed something ASAP, so we got a new refrigerator, and hopefully eventually we'll be able to get the cold room up and running again. As we head into fall, we are definitely in a time of transition here on the homestead. The weather is getting cooler, the garden is winding down, and our kids start back up with school and with sports. We have two of our boys in cross country, and anytime we head to a cross country meet, I love to wear my Vessi weekend sneakers. They can handle walking through wet grass covered with dew, and my feet stay dry and comfortable thanks to their waterproof Diamond-Tex technology. Even though they're waterproof, they're also breathable, so when it starts to heat up during the day, my feet stay cozy. I wear them with Vessi socks, which are soft, add comfort, and are moisture wicking. I love that there's no need to switch shoes between different weather and activities. Vessi also has a really great boot called the Weekend Chelsea that I've been wearing in the mornings and when I head out to the garden just to go grab some herbs for breakfast or to let out the chickens. They're lightweight and so comfortable. They almost feel like a slipper with some structure. They also are waterproof, so walking through wet grass with dew, my feet stay comfy and dry, and any dirt or grass that gets on them is easily rinsed off. You can step into fall ready with Vessi's versatile waterproof weekend sneakers. Shop now at vessi.com/seasonal homestead and get 15% off your first pair with a 1-year warranty and 30-day hassle-free returns. We've done so much preserving over the last month. I am feeling extremely burnt out and I need a break. I'm going to spend the next 3 or 4 days out in the garden. I actually need to do a big harvest of tomatoes today. I think I may have green beans that are ready from our second succession, and I've got some squash to pick. So I actually need to take care of those vegetables and do something with them. So I am going to do something that I don't normally do with my tomatoes, and that is I'm just gonna throw them all in the freezer until I am mentally ready to handle that again. I will get to the point where I'm good and I'm ready to do more preserving, but I'm just not there yet. I got the majority of the tomatoes harvested. I've got both baskets pretty much full. There's still some tomatoes out here, but I've got to get to the other stuff as well. So I'm gonna bring those baskets inside, and I don't want to set veggies on the top and squish all the tomatoes. And then I'll come back out with empty baskets and we'll keep going. I'm heading out to the garden again. We're gonna do round 2 right now and go harvest the green beans first. I think those are gonna take the longest. This variety of green beans is Jade. It's the same kind that I grew before. This is probably the most successful second succession of green beans I've ever done. They look awesome. And usually we get like a ton of bug pressure this time of year. We are getting a ton of bug pressure, but these are withstanding a lot of it. The leaves have a couple like little chew holes from bugs, and I always get a few green beans that have, you know, been eaten a little bit, but overall they look really good so far. Wow, look at how big these leaves are. It's huge. That's probably why these plants are doing so good too. Like I was talking to Noelle, like these green beans, look how
that's huge.
Big that is.
Yeah.
Do you see how big some of the leaves are on some of these?
They're massive.
This is really good soil. A little bit big. That'll be fine. You can tell I haven't harvested these in a little while. I guess these ones, they will make like a nice winter squash if I let them mature all the way, so I could do that. But for right now, I'm gonna harvest what I can. If it looks like it's too far gone, then I won't harvest it. Okay, I have been growing lemon squash for a lot of years, and I finally decided to just take a break from that this year, and I grew an experimental variety of squash in a different squash family that died from squash bugs super fast before I really even got a good harvest. This variety of squash, however, is really productive. I'm very happy with it. I will definitely grow it again next year. Next to it, I grew winter squash, and that is already dying back from squash bugs, which is really a bummer. But it looks like I'll be able to get like 20 or so of these little tiny baby butternut squash, they're my favorite kind. So next year I just gotta make sure I plant more of those if they're gonna die really fast from squash bugs. I need to make sure I plant a lot. And then you can see, you might be able to see here, I have cucumbers behind me. They are very close to being mature. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're producing flowers and I can see the fruit, but the fruit are still small. Yeah, when they produce, it's gonna be a ton. I hope they produce soon because I have the squash bugs over here, and I'm just really nervous that once that winter squash dies, the squash bugs will just move to the cucumbers and then just kill that plant. So hopefully that doesn't happen before we get a good harvest. So I have one last thing that I'm harvesting, and that is jalapenos. I have a whole bunch here that are ready and mature. I mentioned before that I wasn't going to do any preserving. Technically, freezing is preserving, so I take back what I said, and I am preserving. I'm just not doing like the intensive preserving where I'm making tomatoes into like a minestrone soup and then canning it, where it takes like 2 days and it's very time intensive. I'm just skipping all that, and we're going to quick preservation methods of putting in the freezer. And for these jalapenos, I'm not putting them in the freezer, but I am going to ferment them. That is one of our favorite ways to eat them, so that is the plan for right now. So I've got the tomatoes rinsed off, and they're in this bowl of water to kind of soak off any additional dirt that is on them. I'm taking off the green part, putting that aside. I'm not really chopping them up unless I see a bad spot, and then I will chop that off. Other than that, this is pretty much it, and then they're gonna go straight in the freezer. There's been a few that I've set aside because they're not quite ready yet, so I'll just put those in the freezer in a day or two whenever they're ready. But for right now, most of these look really good. After I have my little preserving break, these are gonna turn into spaghetti sauce. And I also need to do some diced tomatoes, but I'd rather make those from the fresh tomatoes rather than frozen ones. After freezing tomatoes, they're really better suited for like a sauce or something like that. So that's what we're gonna do with these.
Okay. 5.
I got the tomatoes finished yesterday and put in the freezer. I still need to shred the zucchini and put that away, and then also the jalapenos and the green beans. I have things to do with those to get those put in the freezer or fermented. But we're not doing that quite yet because it's supposed to get really hot today, and I figured I'll just do that in the heat of the day. And this morning we'll come out and we'll do the stuff that we have to do outside first while it's still cool.
As gardening season sort of slows down, we get right into fix and repair season. There's a lot of fences and chicken coops that just need some TLC. It seems like we perpetually have problems with raccoons finding their way into the corn or chicken coops. And so, since we don't have a dog yet, I need to do some raccoon proofing and really just some critter proofing on some of our chicken coops that have been torn apart, whether it's been by kids or just the weather and things like that. So
yeah, just moving them around does a number on them too.
I just got to put my belt on so it looks like I know what I'm doing. If I have this on, it's like, oh, you guys look legit. Yeah. Just rip it out. I brought this over so we can just do another one. So we're going to pull this up, put this under. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
It's better. The raccoons can fit through a 4-inch hole. My hand can fit through here. The raccoon can probably fit through there. But you have smaller hands, so if your hand can fit through there, then a baby raccoon can fit through there. Yeah.
It's like
okay, so that's good. There's nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
Bark, 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 bark. I moved on to the next coop over here. It had a few. It just had a few hardware mesh pieces that needed retightening. I'll have to hold it. So we just finished the chicken tractor, so hopefully they're critter proof for the next little while. Now we're going to move on to the next project that we have.
So what we're going to do is we have an area behind us that had cucumbers and watermelon growing and some other stuff. It all got overgrown and just neglected, so we need to clear all of that out. Then we're going to move one of the chicken tractors in there and fence around that. Wow, you're a fast walker.
Oh. Fast for me.
Yeah. Like a very consistent irrigation now. We got a good portion of this area cleared out and the weeding partially done. I'm not going to do a perfect job of weeding just because the chickens will do a lot. There's some like volunteer cabbage and stuff in here that I'm going to leave for them, but I want to get the big stuff out. So we're going to go inside and finish up putting away all the veggies we picked yesterday, and tomorrow we'll come back out and wrap this up, finish pulling the rest of the big weeds. We got to take out the silage tarp, and what else did we need to do?
These irrigation drip lines.
Oh yeah, put it in the tractor and put up the fence.
Just like 8 things.
Yeah, just a few things. I'm getting these peppers ready to ferment. To do that, I am going to weigh them first and see what we're working with. The second thing we're going to do is we are going to cut these up in years past, we've either sliced them in half completely or we cut them into smaller slices. And the consensus around here was that when you slice them up smaller and then ferment them, they get a little mushier. So we're going to just slice them in half this year. And the other thing I'm going to do that's going to help with keeping crispy peppers is I actually have grape leaves this year. Just very exciting because grape leaves have tannins in them that help keep fermented foods crispy. So once I'm all done chopping up the peppers, I'm going to go and grab a grape leaf to put in this ferment, and hopefully it helps these peppers stay nice and crunchy. Okay, so including this container, it looks like we have about 14 pounds of peppers. So I'm guessing it's probably like 13 pounds-ish, which is a lot of jalapeno peppers. Based on how many pounds of peppers I have, I'm doing a triple batch of these fermented peppers. So I'm going to measure out the salt into each of these jars. I've measured out 6 cups of water into each of these, and then I'm going to add 1/3 cup of salt into each and a tablespoon of sugar into each. Salt. You want to do the sugar? Good. I'm ready to load the jalapenos into the crocks. I've got a 1 gallon crock and a 2 gallon crock. This one is the one with the water lock seal. Works so much better than these just open ones. I'll put the weights in a plate over the top of this. It'll still work. It just tends to get more of like the white film on the top, which is not ideal. So after I put those in here, then I'm gonna add some lime zest and I'm gonna add some cumin. And I usually add coriander seeds into this recipe, but I don't have any today. Usually I have some in the garden right now. I don't have any this year. So we're probably just gonna omit that from the recipe, and hopefully it still tastes good. Once everything is in, I will add the weights on the top, and then we will pour over the salt and sugar and water mixture that we already did.
Say, call out, tear out a page and we'll make up a list, like paper planes and clips. Brace for the fall, rush of the airs, we're losing control. So everyone's scared, I know. Has it ever been better than this moment I'm with you? In the weather, it's shelter and risk. It's always a simple truth. You're my measure by letter, my wish list, all I could write. You're a new line, days slow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We got it mostly cleared out in here. Silage tarp is out. So we're gonna move the chicken tractor in and fence everything. The reason we are doing this is because this area of the garden, I'm not gonna grow anything in it next year except for cover crops. So I'll have the chickens come through here for a couple of weeks and then we'll plant a cover crop after they're out, and then put some compost down in the spring, plant another cover crop, and so on for the next season. Just gonna give this little area of the garden a period of rest.
There we go, look at that. All our fence right now is being used on the corn, and it needs to stay there for a little bit longer. So we bought 2 more 100-foot rolls so we can make this area. This fencing, we're learning, if we have some, it will get used. Yeah, this is the right direction. If we go clockwise, unwind it. Yeah. And then there's no twists in it.
Okay.
Cool. Just have to kind of clear some of that brush. I'm not going to turn it on yet because I still got to get over there and do some stuff. But it's ready to be turned on. So the fence is up and chickens are out.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary. I was hearing hawks this morning in there. I saw a hawk yesterday perched on the tunnel, which is good. We have a ton of rodents right now. That's mainly what they're going for. So I'm hoping they leave the chickens alone, but if they're hungry enough, they will go for a chicken for sure. Hopefully everything's fine, and this is not a bad idea, but we're just gonna let them out like during the day. We'll close everything up at night and make sure not to let them out too early, because that's the big thing. Like hawks love to come out like really early or like at dusk.
Yeah.
So
we'll watch it close. It'll be fine. Blanched green beans. Got a lot of squash we're putting into bags. I'm just gonna start doing it by pounds and just weighing like 2 pounds per bag. And then Becky reminded me that most recipes for this kind of stuff calls for cups. And so we're measuring it in cups now and putting 4 cups per quart size freezer bag. And that's how we're doing it.
Yeah.